Hi, I'm Karen. I work here as an educator at Montavilla Sewing Center. Today we're going to talk about the maintenance on the Baby Lock Zest. So to start with, when you unthread your machine, make sure you snip your thread here and pull the excess out this way. The reason for that is thread is meant to go towards the needle, not away. So don't grab your spool and pull the thread backwards out of your machine. What could happen with that is you do it continually over time, you could get some lint buildup in your thread tension area, and you don't want to do that. So we take our thread out, put that off to the side, and next we need to take the bobbin out. Pull this over here, open little case, open the latch, pull straight out, and just drop your bobbin out. Put that off to the side, okay. So, to clean the bobbin area, we open these little clips here, grab this center thing, pull it out. Now there's two separate pieces. We have the metal retaining ring and then the part of the hook area. And what you want to do is brush out this area really good. Now lint is going to build up in here from just general sewing, but especially if you sew something that's like flannel or fleece or anything fuzzy, you're going to get some lint buildup. So regularly clean this out. It's pretty easy to do that. You also want to be taking off this needle plate here. And so, actually I think I'm going to take the needle out first. Just have that out of the way. And I'm going to put that in a little piece of fabric here so it doesn't get lost. And take the foot off. That'll give us room to work. Now this screwdriver didn't come with the machine. In fact, neither a brush nor a screwdriver are in your accessories. I would recommend you get a good brush. I would recommend this brush here. It has a little needle inserter in the back, and I will show you how to use that. This is a nice short screwdriver that you can fit well under the machine to open the, take the screws off. And of course you can use any corner of this. If you need a little more torque, you can use one of the little ears on the side. And once the screw is up high enough, you can just take that out by hand. Get this one off of here. So there are two screws to take off, and that holds your needle plate in place. These little screws. I would recommend having like a little basket or something you can put some of these accessories in, but we've got a big table here, we don't have to worry about that. So lift this off, clean in between the feed dogs. Again, this is especially important if you've just sewn a project, like you've made some flannel pajamas, you want to make sure and clean this out. The problem with leaving lint to build up in there is after a while, the feed dogs are not going to be able to grip your fabric to pull it along to form your stitches. So once that's out of there, of course the needle's out of the way, and the foot's out of the way, then we can put the needle plate back on. And put this back on here, da, 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 da. And this back on here. It's really a pretty quick procedure. Good idea to maintain your machine this way. Take good care of your machine, and you'll take good care of you. Pretty simple to do this on a regular basis. Probably be better to do it more often than less often, and you'll get a feel for how often you need to do the maintenance on your machine. Now, for oiling this machine, it doesn't take much oil, but once you have cleaned your machine, it might be a good idea to put a little drop of oil right here and just kind of spread it all along there, just to make sure that this slips and slides the way it should. To put this back in, first of all, I'm going to say have your machine in such a way that you've got your take-up lever just barely peeking up. As you're moving this, you can see how that moves a different way. So if it's just barely peeking up, then this oscillating part of the bobbin area is in the right place. Okay, so like this is half of a circle, this is the other half of the circle. We're going to put those together, right like that, and it just sits there with gravity. If you bump it, it'll fall back out. So just, this should be nice and even and flat right here. Just let that sit there. Now the retaining ring You want to put it this way so that these knobs are facing out. That's what the little clips hang on to. Not this way, but this way. And this little knob is going to fit right down there in that notch. So gently just bring that right up there. Should sit nice and flush and flat. Push that clip shut, and you've put it back together. Okay, and that's basically all the maintenance that you need to do on this machine. Again, do it more often than you think, and you'll get a feel for how often to do it. Put this back on, put the needle back on. And about needles, you want to change your needle more often than you might normally think. What I've been told is every 3 full bobbins, so you have a full bobbin of thread, every 3 full bobbins that you use up, or the equivalent, you want to change your needle, because by that time, this needle has gone through fabric so many times it's starting to get dull at the tip. And a dull needle is going to damage your fabric, and it may cause skip stitches, just going to be not worth keeping. So changing the needle means you get rid of that, you get rid of your needle. The way I like to dispose of my needles is putting them in like a pill bottle or something like that, something that closes them up, so any broken pins, needles, or whatever can go in that. Okay, to put your needle back in, this has a flat side right there. Let me close that up for now. The flat side faces away from you. If you have it towards the side or towards the front, it won't fit in the needle clamp. So facing away from you. Now with this little brush that I said you could buy here at Montavilla, put that into the end of the brush on the wide end, not the narrow end. Give it a little push so it stays put. It helps to have the presser foot down. It gives you a little bit more room to work. Then put your needle down in here where it sews, pull it straight up inside here. If you look right up there, you can actually see the top of the needle. Now, one thing I should recommend right now is if you're new to sewing, it might be a good idea to turn off your machine. That way, if you push on the pedal, you don't accidentally sew through your finger. But for our purposes, since we're needing a little more light to do what we're doing, I'm showing you with the light on. Okay, so we keep this up here, tighten the thumb screw a little bit more, use our screwdriver, and of course you can use any side of the screwdriver, give it a little bit more tightness. Slide that down there, and now you've got your needle back in, maybe a new needle if you've needed a new needle, or the same one, that's fine. There are different kinds of needles. There's stretch needles, there's needles for sewing jeans, there's needles for quilting. Different needles will give you the best results for your type of stitching that you're doing. Okay, so that's all for maintenance, and stay tuned for our other videos. Thanks for watching.